Have you ever thought that perhaps there's no lack of faith in your life, but how do you use it correctly? Because some people pray, ask, light candles, make promises, and nothing changes. Meanwhile, others seem to have an invisible force working in their favor. Money appears, doors open, health improves, relationships flow. And do you know what the difference is? These people learn to order the miracle and not just asking for it. In the next few minutes, you'll discover an ancient, nearly forgotten teaching that Florence Scovel Shinn'S called the infallible formula for manifestation. It's simple, yet powerful. When you understand how to place a request in the spiritual world the right way, it comes back to you multiplied. And it's not just talk, it's real, it's practical, and it has already transformed the lives of those who have applied it. Think of something you've been trying to do for ages, a business that isn't working, a debt that won't pay off, a love that won't come, a door that seems locked. Now imagine having the knowledge that turned the key to manifestation, knowing what to say, how to feel, and what to do for the universe to respond to you. This video will show you how to order a miracle the same way you order something you know will arrive, with confidence, with certainty, without fear. You'll understand why your words have power, how active faith moves the invisible, and how to attract prosperity without having to force anything. Stay until the end, because what you're about to hear here could be the beginning of your turning point. After this video, you'll never ask again. You'll start receiving. Now you understand that miracles aren't luck, they're consciousness. You've just discovered a knowledge that changes everything, the right way to speak to the universe, attract prosperity, and create the life you want. This content opened your eyes to something that was hidden, and that's exactly why others need to hear it too. Show gratitude for this. Revelation. Like the video and subscribe to the channel to continue receiving truths that truly transform. Each new video will take you even deeper into this journey of power, faith, and prosperity. And the next one is already waiting for you. You know that moment when you look at your life and think, I've tried everything but nothing changes. Well, that's the point where most people give up, thinking God has forgotten them or that the universe simply isn't listening. But there's one detail that almost no one realizes. The problem was never asking. The problem is as you ask. Many people talk to the universe as if they were begging, not as if they were certain. And that's the difference between those who live hoping for a miracle and those who live receiving miracles. Because there is a surefire way to order what you want, and believe me, it works. Think about it. When you order something from an online store, you don't check the website every 5 minutes to see if it's out for delivery, right? You simply trust that it will arrive. You pay, confirm the address, and know the package will arrive. This is the same spiritual logic that governs what people call miracles. Only instead of faith, most people send messages of despair to the universe. Please help me. I can't take it anymore. Why me? And the universe responds with exactly that. More despair, more struggle, more feeling trapped. Because the universe doesn't understand, I don't want this. It understands the vibration that you send. And when you speak from lack, what comes back to you is more lack. Now stop and think. How many times have you prayed with faith, truly believing, and still nothing happened? How many times have you thought God was silent? Maybe he never failed to answer. You were just speaking the wrong language. The truth is, there's a huge difference between asking and ordering. When you ask, you say, I don't have it, I want it. When you order, you say, it's already mine, I'm just waiting for it to be delivered. And this shift in mindset is everything. It's like changing the energy signal you emit. Your mind stops vibrating scarcity and starts vibrating certainty. And here's the point, no one told you. The universe doesn't respond to the strength of your voice. It responds to the firmness of your belief. There's no point repeating positive phrases if you're still doubting deep down. It's like trying to turn on a light bulb without power. Words are the wire, but feelings are the electricity. When you speak with genuine faith, the universe moves. But when you speak with fear, it stops. And this is the forgotten secret that transforms prayers into results. Have you ever noticed that there are people who seem to have a magic touch? Everything they do works out. Money flows in, business thrives, opportunities arise. And when you ask them what they do, they say something simple like, I trust, or I knew it would work out. They're not lucky. They're aligned. These people understand even without knowing it what it means to commission a miracle. They don't pray for it. They give thanks in advance. They don't beg for blessings. They affirm that the blessing has already been delivered. And the curious thing is that the more they act this way, the more the universe responds. But it's not just about money, prosperity, or material success. It's about harmony. When you understand this principle, you begin to feel at peace. Things stop seeming impossible because you realize there's a rhythm, a flow, and that you're part of it. Your mind stops chasing answers and starts working with the invisible. You stop begging and start commanding with faith. And this faith isn't arrogance. It's the awareness that you are a co-creator of your own life. It's understanding that if you can imagine, feel, and declare something, then you can live it. And look, what stops many people from achieving this state is precisely the fear of appearing presumptuous. How many times have you thought, "Who am I to order a miracle?" But that's exactly what the universe wants you to understand. You can. You were made for this. The mistake is thinking that asking is humility, when in fact it's a constant reminder of lack. Asking is a true act of faith, because you affirm that you trust the process, even without seeing it. It's like saying, "God, I've already received it. Now it's just time for it to reach me." And that's where the magic happens. Maybe you're hearing all this and thinking, "Okay, but how do I do this in practice?" And that's the best part. It's straightforward. It starts with a simple decision. Stop complaining, stop doubting, and start affirming. Use words that express certainty, like, "It's already done. Prosperity flows to me. My life is transforming now." Try saying these words out loud every day, even if your mind tries to sabotage you, because the more you say them, the more your subconscious believes them. And when it believes them, the universe responds. I want you to comment now on one word to seal this new beginning. Write it down below. I trust. Because that's exactly what differentiates those who wait and those who receive. And by writing this, you're saying to the universe, "I understand. I trust. I'm ready to receive." This simple gesture is an energetic signal, and those who understand the power of words know that every statement has an effect. In the next few minutes, you'll realize that everything we call a miracle has a logic. Nothing is random. There's an invisible language, a way of speaking and feeling that opens the doors to the impossible. And when you learn to use it, your life begins to move differently. Lighter, faster, more favorable. What once seemed blocked begins to flow. What was impossible begins to approach. And that's what we'll talk about next. How to talk to the universe the way it understands. Because that's where true power begins. Have you ever noticed that sometimes it seems like you believe, pray, do everything right, and still nothing happens? It's like life is testing you, right? You speak with faith, trust, but the results don't appear. And then the doubt arises, am I praying wrong? The truth is, most people believe that faith is hoping something will work out, when in reality faith is sure that it's already worked. This is the difference between those who wait for a miracle and those who experience it. Faith isn't emotion, it's awareness. It's not closing your eyes and asking, it's opening your heart and saying, "It's already mine, it just hasn't arrived yet." Think about something simple. When you buy something online, you don't call every day asking, "Will they really deliver?" You know the product is yours even before it arrives. You don't get anxious, you trust. And that's exactly how it works in the spiritual world. When you speak with faith, the universe understands that the order is confirmed. But when you speak with doubt, it's as if you cancel the order before delivery. Faith isn't waiting for it to happen. It's acting as if it happens, already received. It's living as if it were already part of your reality, because that's how the universe understands your command. And you know what's funny? People think they need to force the universe to work in their favor. They don't. What you need is vibrate in tune with what you want. It's like a radio station. The signal is already there, but you only hear the right music when you adjust the frequency. If your frequency is one of fear, you attract confusion. If it's one of scarcity, you attract more lack. But when your frequency is one of certainty, gratitude, and trust, the universe gets the message and starts moving the pieces in your favor. And that's where the power of words comes in. Words are like spiritual commands. Every time you speak, you're activating something, for better or for worse. When you say, "It's hard, nothing's working, I'm tired," the universe doesn't judge, it simply obeys. It understands that this is what you want to continue receiving. Now, when you speak with faith, when you say, Things are getting better for me. I am blessed. Money flows to me easily. The universe understands the command and begins to align everything so that it manifests. It's like changing the code you send into reality. But there's an important detail. Words alone aren't enough. They are the steering wheel, but it's your feelings that drive. You can repeat "I am prosperous" 1,000 times, but if you feel fear, guilt, or scarcity inside, the universe will respond to what you feel, not what you say. The secret is to unite words and emotions, to speak with feeling. This is what ancient wisdom taught. It's not what comes into the mouth that creates, it's what comes out of the heart. When your speech comes from within, with conviction, the invisible moves. Many people confuse faith with hope. Hope is thinking, who knows, maybe one day. Faith is declaring, it's already done. Hope keeps you still, faith makes you act. And it's this faith that changes everything, because it creates a vibration of power. It's the kind of certainty that doesn't scream, but he knows, when you live this way, things seem to flow naturally. Money appears from places you never imagined. The right people cross your path. Solutions emerge almost magically. But none of this is magic. It's law. It's the universe responding to your energy, because now you speak its language. And you know what's most beautiful. When this faith begins to grow within you, your attitude changes. You stop begging for help and start giving thanks in advance. And this is the true test of who believes. Those who trust give thanks before seeing. It's like a farmer who plants knowing the harvest will come, even if the soil still seems bare. Gratitude is the hallmark of faith. It's saying thank you before the result. When you start living this way, miracles are no longer a surprise. They're a natural consequence. Now think about the power this has, waking up every day with the certainty that what's yours is already on its way, that everything is conspiring to make things work out, that the universe is working behind the scenes to align what you asked for. It's a feeling of peace, of lightness, of confidence. You don't need to control. You don't need to despair. You just need to live as if you had already received it. Speak with faith, act with faith, feel with faith. I want you to comment below the word certainty. Write to cement this within yourself. Because what you write, you declare, and what you declare, you create. Faith is the seed, but certainty is the soil in which it grows. And you know what's most interesting? When you start living in this vibration of trust, your energy changes completely. And that's when people start to notice. They don't understand what happened, but they sense something different within you. And that's when the miracle stops being an event and becomes a lifestyle. But for this to happen continuously, there's something you need to adjust within yourself. Something few people realize, but which determines whether the miracle will flourish or wither before it can even be born. Have you ever noticed how easy it is to say you believe, but how difficult it is to act like one? Many people say, I have faith, but in practice, they live like doubters. They pray, but wake up the next day complaining. They say they trust, but spend the whole day worrying about the future. And that's where everything stops, because the universe doesn't respond to what you say, it responds to what you vibrate. Faith isn't talk, it's posture, it's behavior. It's when your attitude confirms what you say. And that's precisely where the secret to manifestation lies. Act as if you have already received it, even when nothing seems to indicate this yet. You know when you buy a ticket to a show you've always wanted to go to. Even before the day arrives, you feel the excitement, you choose your outfit, you get organized, because you know it's going to happen. You don't doubt, you prepare. It's this kind of energy you need to put into your spiritual life. When you commission a miracle, your role is to behave as someone who knows the delivery is guaranteed. This means stopping acting out of fear, stopping vibrating with despair, and starting to align every gesture with the confidence of someone who knows the promise is in progress. Many people talk about faith but live in contradiction. They pray with faith and complain in the same breath. They thank God and then immediately say, but my life is hard. And that but is what blocks everything. The universe understands, she still doesn't believe. And when you don't believe, you cancel the request. True faith is inner silence. It's when the mind tries to doubt, but the heart responds, it already worked. This is the energy that moves mountains because it doesn't need proof. It is the proof. And it's not about forcing optimism, it's about consistency. If you say you're attracting prosperity, but you're always talking about lack, complaining about bills, comparing your life to others, you're nullifying the process. Faith is congruence between what you think, say, and feel. When these three elements align, the flow begins to work. And this applies to everything: money, love, health, opportunities. The universe responds to consistency, not haste. You need to understand that living as someone who has already received isn't pretending. It's aligning yourself. It's acting with gratitude, because the grateful person isn't waiting. The grateful person knows they already have. It's caring for yourself, your words, your thoughts, like someone tending a garden before harvest. And the most incredible thing is that when you adopt this attitude, things truly begin to change. Situations that seemed stuck become unlocked. People who were distant reconnect. Ideas that were stagnant gain momentum. Everything around you begins to respond to the new energy you're emitting. Faith lived is a kind of vibration that is contagious. People feel it. They perceive that you carry a different confidence, a peace that doesn't depend on circumstances. And this happens because your inner self stops living in lack mode and starts operating in abundance mode. You begin to walk more lightly, speak with more power, and look at life with more certainty. And the universe recognizes this frequency. It doesn't delay, it just waits for you to align yourself before delivering. When you understand this, you realize there's no point in chasing things, because everything that's yours is already on its way. Your only task is to maintain the right vibration, the vibration of whoever already received, because those who have received do not complain, do not beg, do not doubt. Those who have received only give thanks. And this is the greatest sign of faith there is. Gratitude before the blessing is proof that you trust the process. Now tell me, how many times have you acted like you're sure? How many times have you woken up thankful for something you haven't seen yet? That's what changes the game. And I want you to write the word here in the comments I received. Write to affirm, to energetically register this new stance. Because when you write, you send a signal to the universe saying, I understand. I've already received. Now I'm just living the time of surrender. And that's where transformation begins to happen. Because when your behavior changes, the universe changes with you. When you start acting like someone who has, the universe starts treating you like someone who has. It's a silent but infallible law. And the moment you truly understand this, life will stop being a weight and start being a daily confirmation. And to understand what sustains this energy, what maintains this state of certainty, even when everything seems to be falling apart, there is an element that needs to be cultivated every day, and it is the true fuel of miracles. Do you know what differentiates those who live in a miracle from those who live waiting for one? Gratitude. It's simple, but most people ignore it. Most people are grateful. After that happens, as if gratitude were an answer. But the secret is to be thankful. Before gratitude is the password that opens the doors of the invisible. It's the most powerful proof of faith there is, because when you give thanks before seeing, the universe understands that you trust, understands that you already have. And when you vibrate as someone who already has, the universe delivers. It's automatic. Think of a waiter bringing your order to the table. When you thank them before the food even arrives, you show trust, respect, and positive expectations. In the spiritual realm, it's the same. When you say, thank you, God, because the money is coming. Thank you because my life is transforming. Thank you because the miracle is already on its way. The universe responds to your vibration of certainty. It understands. This person knows what they want, and they know they've already received it. And then, everything starts to move. The problem is that many people only give thanks when things go well, and in the meantime, they're constantly complaining, lamenting, and reinforcing scarcity. But the universe doesn't understand irony. It only understands vibration. If you're constantly complaining, you're emitting energy of lack, and the lack keeps returning. Gratitude is the opposite. It shifts your frequency. It's like changing stations. You leave the channel of scarcity and enter the channel of abundance. And when you enter this channel, things start to happen effortlessly. You've probably noticed this in practice. You know when you start the day in a bad mood and everything seems to go wrong. The coffee spills, the bus is late, the boss complains, the day becomes chaos. Now think about when you wake up feeling light, grateful, happy to be alive. Things flow. You attract good conversations, good news, good opportunities. This isn't a coincidence. It's energy. Gratitude reorganizes the field around you. It's a force that changes your emotional state and consequently your reality. And the most interesting thing is that gratitude doesn't need anything grand to work. You can start now with what you already have. Be thankful for the bed you sleep in, the food you have, the people who love you, even the challenges that make you grow. Being thankful transforms what you have into enough, and enough into abundance. Those who are grateful don't need to chase after it. They attract it. And they attract it because the universe understands. This person vibrates with fullness. I can give more. Now, an important point. Gratitude needs to be felt, not just spoken. There's no point in saying thank you while inside you're filled with fear. True gratitude is an emotion. It's feeling the relief of knowing everything is working out, even when it still seems messy. It's looking at a problem and saying, thank you, because this is strengthening me. When you do this, you completely change the flow of your energy. Fear loses its power, doubt weakens, and faith grows. And do you know what happens when faith and gratitude combine? The impossible becomes routine. Doors that were locked open, the right people appear, money arrives unexpectedly, your body begins to react, situations resolve themselves. Because you stopped fighting life and started flowing with it. You stopped being a beggar and became a creator, and that changes everything. Gratitude is like a green light from the universe. It says, send more, I'm ready, I know how to receive. And the more you give thanks, the more reasons you receive to continue giving thanks. It's a cycle, and the more this cycle turns, the lighter, more prosperous and more fluid your life becomes. It's the kind of transformation that requires no effort, because it comes from within. It's a change of state, of mindset. You stop focusing on what's missing and begin to realize how much you already have. Now I want you to comment below the word thanks. That's right. Write thanks to seal this moment. Because this simple act, besides connecting you energetically with the vibration of gratitude, also reinforces what you're learning here. To be grateful is to create. When you write thank you, you're sending a message to the universe saying, I understand the code, I'm ready to receive more. And here's a detail few people realize. Gratitude is the fuel of faith. Without it, faith weakens, becomes unstable, and full of ups and downs. But when you start practicing gratitude consistently, it becomes a lifestyle. And living this way changes everything. Because the grateful are fearless. The grateful trust. The grateful create. And it is precisely in this vibration that miracles become a natural part of your routine. But there's something that still needs to be understood. A silent trap that many people fall into without realizing it. Something that blocks manifestation, even when they're doing everything right. It's an invisible error that cancels miracles, and you need to recognize it before it continues to hinder your life. Have you ever noticed that sometimes it seems like you're doing everything right? Praying, believing, giving thanks, and yet things get stuck. It's as if the miracle is there just a step away from happening, but something invisible is pulling the brakes. Well, there's a reason for this and almost no one notices. It's called energy contradiction. It's the invisible error that cancels miracles, and it's more common than you think. It works like this. You pray with faith, declare your belief, feel the energy of the miracle, but soon after you blurt out phrases like, I don't think it'll happen. It's hard for me. These things don't happen to me. And that's it. At that moment, the universe understands that you're still vibrating with doubt, and what should flow becomes blocked, because you can't affirm and doubt at the same time. Faith is a straight line, and doubt is the knot that cuts the flow. It's like trying to drive with your foot on the accelerator and the brake at the same time. The car won't move. Most people don't realize that fear and insecurity are sabotaging their prayers. They say, I trust in God, but spend all day worrying about tomorrow. They say the money is coming, but look at their bank account and despair. And this mixed energy confuses the universe. Faith requires coherence. It's the alignment between what you say, feel, and think. When these three contradict each other, nothing happens. You know that saying, the early bird catches the worm? The truth is, God helps those who truly believe, and true belief isn't about repeating pretty phrases. It's about holding firm to your certainty, even when everything seems to be against it. It's about continuing to speak of prosperity, While the money hasn't arrived yet, it's about continuing to affirm health while the body is still healing. It's about continuing to say everything is working out, even when circumstances seem to say otherwise. This is the faith that moves the invisible. The invisible error is thinking that faith is an emotion. It's not. Faith is a decision. It's choosing every day to trust. It's choosing not to listen to the voices of doubt that try to convince you it won't work. Doubt is the voice of fear, and fear is the saboteur of miracles. When it enters, the spiritual flow stops. Therefore, you need to watch what you feel and what you say, because every time you doubt, you go back to square one. But every time you reaffirm with conviction, even without proof, the universe begins to reorganize itself to deliver what is yours. And there's more. Fear makes you try to control everything, and control is the opposite of faith. Faith is letting go, trusting that things will fall into place, even if you don't yet understand how. Control is saying, I believe, but only if it's my way and in my time. And the universe doesn't work that way. It delivers at the right time, in the right way, so that the result is complete. Your role isn't to understand the path. It's to keep your heart open as you walk. And that's when many people give up. They think it's not working and start changing direction, switching prayers, techniques, beliefs. But the miracle was already coming. They're the ones who went off track. It's like someone who gives up on an online order the day before delivery. And the universe, obedient as it is, simply pauses the order. The secret is to remain steadfast, even when results take time. That's when faith is tested and strengthened. Now, if you want to see real change, you need to commit to consistency. Pay attention to what you say throughout the day. See if your words align with the reality you want to create. Stop talking about problems, crises, and lack. Start talking about solutions, trust, and abundance. And most importantly, feel that. Because it is the feeling that creates, not just the speech. And to seal this new understanding, comment below the word aligned. That's right. Write aligned to declare that from today on, your energy, your words, and your feelings will move together. That you will stop doubting and start vibrating with clarity. Because the universe doesn't understand indecision. It understands frequency. And when your frequency is firm, nothing can stop what's coming. What you need to know now is that when faith is true and energy is clear, miracles cease to be an exception and become part of your routine. But for this to happen consistently, there's a final adjustment, an internal shift that transforms the way you live and see the world. And that's exactly what we'll talk about next. There comes a time when you understand that a miracle isn't something that comes from outside, but something that awakens within you. When your mind, your words, and your emotions begin to vibrate in harmony, the miracle ceases to be a rare occurrence and becomes your way of life. It's as if the universe finally recognizes you, looks at you and says, now you understand the game. And from that moment on, everything begins to flow in a way that seems unbelievable. Doors that were previously closed open, money appears from where you never expected, opportunities begin to seek you out. And the curious thing is that none of this happens by chance. It's a consequence of your new state of consciousness. You begin to realize that the universe responds to those who vibrate with trust, not those who beg. That prosperity comes to those who live with gratitude, not those who complain. That answers come to those who silence anxiety and listen to their intuition. Miracles become a lifestyle when you understand that they don't just happen for you, but through you. It's your energy, your words, and your feelings acting as a password that opens the doors of the invisible every day. And the best part is, the more you live like this, the more natural it becomes. You stop chasing things and start attracting them. The right people appear, solutions come easily, problems are solved without suffering, all because you stopped fighting life and started flowing with it. It's like swimming with the current. The effort decreases and the speed increases. You're no longer trying to convince the universe to bless you, because he knows that is already blessed. And this certainty completely changes the way you live, speak, and think. From this point on, you no longer need to make things happen, because you've become the channel through which things happen. Life begins to serve you not because you're lucky, but because you've aligned. You've learned the code. Think clearly, speak powerfully, feel with faith. And when these three come together, the impossible becomes your new normal. That's why people look at people who live this way and say, that person is lucky. But luck isn't what you have, it's what you create with your frequency. The miracle at this point is not an occasional gift. It is the result of a trained mind, a trusting heart, and clean energy. It's when you wake up and know the day will be good, because your vibration has already decided it. It's when you're unfazed by chaos, because you've learned that chaos is just the path, reorganizing itself to deliver something better. And it's when you look back and realize that nothing was in vain, that every pain, every weight, every challenge taught you to master what once dominated you. And you know what's most interesting? When you start living this way, you inspire others without having to say a word. People notice something different about you. They want to know what you do, how you think, why everything seems to work out for you. And that's when you understand the greater purpose. Your miracle isn't just for you, it's for others to see what's possible when someone decides to truly trust. Your miracle becomes a living testimony, and that's why I want you to comment below the word flowing. Write this to declare that from now on you live in flow with the universe, in harmony with life, in tune with abundance. Because when you write, you vibrate, and when you vibrate, you create. But there's something even deeper, a connecting thread that shows how to keep this energy alive even on days when fear tries to creep back in. Because the real challenge isn't creating a miracle, it's sustain this frequency every day. And that's what we're going to talk about next, because that's where the transformation becomes permanent. Now you understand why some miracles seem to happen quickly and others take so long. This video showed you that the power was never outside, it was always within you. You learned to align faith, words, and feelings, to give thanks before seeing, and to live in a flow where the impossible ceases to exist. And when that reality hits, life changes. Doors open, the mind calms, the heart trusts. And that's why this video did you so much good, because it reminded you of something your soul already knew, but had forgotten because of the hustle and bustle of the world. Now is the time to multiply this energy. Show gratitude for everything you've just received. Like the video and subscribe to the channel to continue attracting more revelations like this. Just as this message touched you, it can transform other lives too, and it's through your gesture that this chain continues to grow. Write the word here in the comments manifesto to affirm that from now on you live in constant creation, that miracles are part of your daily life, and that the universe is already responding to you. And stay tuned. The next video will show you how to sustain this vibration every day, even when everything seems to be falling apart. Because true power isn't just creating the miracle, it's maintaining the frequency that makes it happen always.